Hello there, this is Dr. King. I'm going to go ahead and record me designing one of these inlays for the course. So let me go ahead and enter the search parameters. Will pull up my name. I've got a bunch of them. These are all of the inlays that I've designed. You can see over here on the right the different designs that we are going to be looking at today, or have looked at already. I'm going to add a new case. Single restoration, inlay, by a generic individual is the design. I'm going to be using an Ivoclar product which is called Empress. And the tooth number, this is tooth number 19. I'm going to select that tooth and hit next. That'll turn on my camera. Alright, now we have a camera. I'm going to wipe the lens off a little bit. Hi, how you doing? Okay, so we're going to do some imaging. Sorry, we got some smudging from the disinfectant. All right, so I'm just going to image the lower arch, just for fun. You can see a single tooth restoration like this should only take you roughly a minute to get all the image data that you need to design your restoration. Notice on the inlay I'm making sure that I get all of the walls and as interproximally as I can. I'm going to switch over here and get the upper arch. It's a lot easier when you have a model that I can work with outside of a patient's mouth. But you see how long it's taking me to image and scan. I'm not going to spend as much time on the upper. Then we're going to take a buccal scan. That's plenty of data. I'm going to turn the camera off by hitting next. All right, so normally the computer does this step pretty quickly. It's calculating the modeling itself. You can see my fabulous plastic prepared tooth. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty special. There's the opposing arch. And the buccal scan will pop up. There's the buccal scan. Next we'll get a pre-positioning stage where we'll be able to position after we do the buccal scan. Evaluate that, make sure we like the occlusion. It's going to settle the models for us. Excellent. We can evaluate, make sure we have decent occlusion. Perfect. If I wanted to, I could edit the model right here. Set the model axis. Orient it first on the left side. Make sure that you're rotated correctly, oriented correctly. Then position it over here on the right side of the screen. Then I'm going to drag this up so the line of occlusion roughly matches that line. All right. I'm going to hit OK, then you got to hit next. Now we get to really evaluate the prep because I can zoom in here. So there's my prep. It's decent. The cavo surface margins are not really clear. I apologize for that. I haven't prepped plastic teeth for quite a while. So you can see the green line indicates that the margin finder is in automatic margin mode. See how long it took me to do that in automatic margin mode. So if you wanted to, you can go in and you can actually edit this margin, which I'm going to do by double-clicking and then making whatever corrections you want and then double-clicking to end. That margin doesn't, or that line doesn't follow the margin line really well, so I'm going to change that. That's a little bit better. You notice as I zoom out, the line gets a little thicker. As I zoom back in, it thins out. That's one of the newer feature function things that's pretty cool. So that's generally where I like it. These are not the best preps. I apologize. I did them really quickly. Did 15 preps in about, I don't know, 15 minutes. So we're violating some of the rules of the ideal inlay or onlay, primarily because there's not a 90-degree cavo surface margin exit, which is ideal. So you can see I just defined the insertion axis. I want to make sure that there's no undercuts anywhere. I'm going to hit next. The computer is going to give us a proposal, a design. And there it is.
There you are.
Give me just a second. Put it right there. What room? Okay. All right, so you can see the minimal thickness is the thin blue, and I'm editing and adding just a little bit. Some of the red areas are indicating that we've got too much contact. Let's check what our parameters actually are. Spacer 120, minimal thickness occlusal, that's really high. It doesn't need to be that high. I'm going to change that down to 1200 microns, 1.2 millimeters. It's calculating down here on the bottom. There we go, that's a lot better. And honestly, because of the occlusal offset that's already set in there, having a little bit of yellow or red is just fine. Let me check the contact. I'm going to trim, take everything away, add a little bit to that contact, smooth it back just a smidge. So I know our minimal thickness is at 1.2 millimeters, so we've got some space to work with, but there's the restoration. Let's get the actual milling preview. There it is. So these little blue bubbles are less than 1.2 millimeters, but they're just a smidge less, so I'm okay with that. See over here, I can turn on the arch. There's the arch. If you wanted to, you can look through it, turn off the block, make this transparent. You can see how everything sits together. You can see how we've got positive pressure on the margin. And there's the inlay that I've prepared. Pretty cool. All right.